The night I found out the truth, I couldn't breathe. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped my phone. I had been with Arya for 3 years, and I was just weeks away from proposing to her, the woman I thought I'd spend my life with. But then I saw it, a message from her ex buried deep in her phone that shattered everything I believed about love and loyalty. The message simply said, "I'm glad we're giving this another shot. I never stopped loving you." My whole world stopped spinning. Tell me, what would you do if you found out the person you were about to marry was secretly planning a future with someone else? Would you walk away quietly, or make them face what they did? When I first met Arya, it felt like one of those moments people write songs about. She walked into my life on a rainy afternoon, hair dripping, asking if she could borrow my umbrella. I laughed, handed it to her, and she smiled, a smile that got stuck in my head for weeks. After that, we started running into each other more often at the coffee shop near my office. She said she worked nearby, and before I knew it, we were sitting together every morning, sharing coffee, stories, and laughter. I'd had relationships before, but none that felt this. Right, Arya was kind, funny, and smart. She made me feel like I was the only person who mattered. 6 months later, we were officially together, and a year after that, we moved in. Life felt easy, natural, like I'd finally found home. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that comfort can make you blind. Arya had an ex named Julian. She told me about him early on, said they dated for years but broke up because he was emotionally unavailable. She claimed she was done with him, that he'd hurt her too much to ever go back. I believed her. Why wouldn't I? Every time he came up, she'd get this cold, distant look in her eyes, like even his name left a bad taste in her mouth. I told myself it was just part of her past, something she'd moved on from. Fast forward to last year, I was secretly planning to propose. I'd saved up for the perfect ring, booked a weekend trip to the mountains, and even practiced what I'd say. I was nervous but excited. I wanted everything to be perfect. Then one night, Arya came home late from work. She said she was catching up on a project with her team. I kissed her goodnight and she fell asleep almost instantly. Her phone buzzed beside her, lighting up the dark room. Normally, I never went through her stuff. I trusted her. But something about the way her phone lit up, followed by the name Julian, made my stomach twist. I hesitated for a full minute before I finally picked it up. The message read, "I'm so glad we're giving this another shot. I missed you." My chest went cold. I scrolled up, heart pounding, and there it was, a full thread of messages. For months they'd been talking. At first it was friendly, then flirty, then intimate. She told him she still loved him. She said I was safe, but that he was her real passion. I read it all until I felt physically sick. My whole body was trembling, my eyes blurry with tears. I couldn't believe it. The woman I was about to marry was rekindling things with the man she swore had broken her. I didn't confront her right away. I couldn't. I needed time to think. The next morning, she kissed me goodbye like nothing was wrong. I stared at her, wondering how someone could lie so easily. Over the next few days, I gathered proof, screenshots, call logs, everything. It became clear that while I was out buying an engagement ring, she was meeting him in secret. They'd been sneaking around for weeks, so that's the situation I was in. I had a ring hidden in my drawer, a future planned, and a fiancé who was already halfway out the door. Before I tell you what happened next, I want you to think about it. What would you do if you were in my shoes? Would you confront them quietly, or would you make sure they never forgot what they did? Pause for a second and comment below what you'd have done. Because what I did next, I still don't know if it was the right thing. A week later, I took Arya on that mountain trip I'd planned. She was so excited, completely unaware that I knew everything. The first night there, I set up a candlelit dinner overlooking the valley. She thought it was romantic. I thought it was poetic. Her confession would happen in the same place where I once planned to propose. Halfway through dinner, I pulled out the little box with the ring. Her eyes widened, and for a moment she looked genuinely happy. Then I opened it, and inside wasn't the ring. It was my phone, with her entire message history with Julian displayed on the screen. Her face drained of color. She stammered, "Where did you—" But I cut her off. I told her I knew everything. Every lie, every late-night text, every time she said she was working late but was actually with him. She tried to deny it at first, then broke down crying, begging me to understand. She said she'd been confused, that Julian reaching out had messed with her head. that she loved me, but part of her still loved him too. Hearing her say that was worse than any scream or insult. I told her love isn't something you split between two people. It's something you choose every day. And she chose him. I walked away that night, left her there in the cabin with her excuses and tears. I drove home alone, ringless, heartbroken, but free. A week later, she texted me saying Julian had ghosted her again. She wanted to talk. I didn't reply. A month later, I saw her social media. She'd posted pictures of herself, focusing on self-love. It was almost funny. Meanwhile, I deleted every photo of us, every memory. I started therapy, focused on work, and little by little I stopped replaying that night in my head. It's been almost a year since it happened. I still think about her sometimes. Not because I miss her, but because I learned something powerful. Love isn't about grand gestures or perfect photos. It's about loyalty when no one's watching. Arya didn't understand that, and that's why she lost me. So tell me, was I wrong for exposing her the way I did? Or was it justice for what she put me through? Let me know in the comments. And if you've ever been in a situation like this, I'd love to hear how you handled it. Like this video if you think I made the right call. Subscribe for more stories like this and share your final thoughts down below. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you all in the next story.